What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Shiv, and today we're going to talk about, the Caverns below. Now, a lot of people have been really upset at this card. They feel it's a little too consistent. And when I say a lot of people, I mean there are about 3 different threads on the Hearthstone forums across multiple different fucking regions, and on Hearthstone there's at least 20, and I'm pretty sure on a lot of other Hearthstone forums there's a fuck ton of complaints about this card. And they're all basically saying the same thing. It's just too fucking consistent. Way too fucking consistent. And once that quest comes down, I can't fucking defeat it. Once that happens, I'm done, right? That's how a lot of people feel. They really do. Like, you look at the Priest quest, when that one comes out, you could still technically beat them. You could still fight them back. No problem. When the Hunter one comes out, you could definitely still beat that shit. When the Murloc one comes out, you could still definitely beat that shit. It's not overly that easy, but you could still definitely beat it. The Paladin one, you could definitely beat that one. Shaman have one card that basically goes, I dare you to play it. Alright? Every one of the quests basically has a condition that you could easily get through. The Warlock one, I'm going to say, is kind of in the questionable range, but meh. And even the Mage one. If the Mage one goes off, you're pretty fucked. Alright? Let's be honest, you're pretty fucked. But there are ways of stopping it from going off. Keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to this deck, however, not so much. There's no way of stopping this from happening if the player is smart enough. And once this comes down, you're pretty much in a really bad situation, alright? Now, the deck that I've been using to test out almost everything with this is the Dog variant, which does really goddamn good. It's one of the more consistent ones I've seen out there and played. And it's done a lot of work. But I started wondering, okay, I kind of feel dirty about playing this because I just feel like I'm always going to win with a sense of inevitability because this quest is really fucking easy for me to get. If I get an opening hand with, say, like a double Novice Engineer and I pull a Shadow Step, oh my god, I need a towel because I just busted a nut in my pants. That's exactly how that shit feels to me, alright? That is 100% how that shit feels to me. Where it gets a little interesting is I started questioning maybe we could look at 5 or maybe even 6. I started thinking about this. I really did. And I brought this up to my girlfriend who, by the way, loves hearing me talk math as well as the probability of card games. No, actually she really doesn't. She kind of hates it. But she likes playing the game, but she hates thinking about the math of it. But because she is a dear, and I bought her a brand new box of ammo, she agreed to help me test some things. And by agreed to help, I mean I used up all the color ink in her printer. Sorry, hun. So what we ended up doing is we ended up printing out cards, and then we used a glue stick and put them onto a bunch of playing cards. Which, by the way, her dad sat there and watched us doing this going, what the fuck are you two doing? It was actually kind of funny. So we built the decks. She selected one of the Hunter decks that I had came up with that she actually enjoyed playing, and she was going to play that. I don't know if that was the most ideal deck for the testing scenario. If we had more ink, I probably would have printed off a lot more decks to do this testing, and we probably would have done more than 60 total games test. So yeah. So we did 20 games at this way the quest is meant to be with only 4, and we record the results there. At 4, we won 14 out of 20 games. Pretty good amount. So then we moved it to 5. We won 14 out of 20 games. Yeah. Didn't really even matter much, guys. Really didn't matter that much. The only difference was in the other set, I was able to pull off a turn 3, get the quest complete. With it going to 5, I was unable to do that. So that was the one difference there. The one difference. Now, taking up to 6. Here's where things actually got interesting. Taking up to 6, I broke even. Literally 10 and 10. At 6, I really struggled to complete the quests. Outside of a mimic pod, and that mimic pod had to actually pull another copy of a minion in order for it to work. And if it pulled a copy of a spell, I was kind of fucked in many ways. The novice engineer drawing was actually really crucial. Not getting this as the bounce mechanic was very, very problematic. Trying to use things like the swashbuckler and bouncing it found it be completely ineffective. So yeah, that became a huge problem at 6. But it did make the quest a little less consistent, and I think therein lies the issue. You know, if we make it too inconsistent, then it's not worth playing. If we make it too easy, then there's definitely a kind of problem there. So yeah, moving forward, I think if Blizzard is going to examine this card, they're going to look at 5 and 6 as being options. And they're going to do their own testing. Now, I'm going to be the first to admit my testing was completely flawed and the methodology is completely not good in any way, shape, or form. But this is for my own personal curiosity, not to prove some fucking point to the world, the internet, and Blizzard. I don't give a fuck about that shit. But it was to prove a point to myself. Would this be valid? Because I had a very nice little chain of arguments with a good friend of mine about the validity of this card and whether or not it needed to be changed. So I just kind of wanted to know for myself if, you know, it needed to be changed. And from what I found out, yeah, and it could still survive. It still could survive. So, yeah. Now, obviously, Blizzard's going to do their own testing to determine whether or not this is something that they're going to do. And when I say testing, I mean they're going to look at tens of millions of statistical data batches, and mostly involving any card that has the Caverns below. What they're going to do is basically isolate some very key cards in those deck designs and say, okay, any cards or any deck that has this design set, that is what we're going to look at. And they're obviously not going to do a complete 30 card build. They're probably going to look at something like 20 cards or 15 cards in order to get a good base set. Once they have that, they're going to apply that framework, and then they're going to collect data from all those within that framework. Once they have that, they're going to use said framework to look at how often certain key things happen. How often does the quest get completed, say, on turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, turn 6, turn 7, turn 8, and above. Actually, probably 7 and above. They're going to look at that. And they're going to look at the mathematical numbers of that. And they're going to see where the sweet spot is. Right? That's what they're going to do. Now, here's where things get really fun. See, Blizzard has a lot of computer power to it, and actually has some pretty smart computers there. So what they could do now is they could take that same framework, and they could use predictive modeling and adjust the card in values to see exactly where those consistencies go. True, they could. They honestly could. Will they? Probably not, because that's a lot of CPU crunch power that, yeah. Not to mention the fact, I don't even know if they even have a predictive modeling algorithm or the ability of applying one. Lord knows if I was to do that shit on paper a million fucking times, I'd kill the rainforest, so no. So, yeah. But they will definitely do testing on this to see if it feels more consistent or, if they can possibly lower down its consistency by a simple bump. So I think that's what they're going to. The other options here are they could change the quest completely. As it stands right now, I kind of feel like this quest suffers from a real huge problem that Blizzard keeps repeating over and over and over again. All right? And that is the global enhancement problem. All right? They obviously learned from when it comes to charge. That's bad. But when you're literally turning the shittiest of fucking 0 cost to 1 cost cards into fucking 5 to 6 mana cost cards, that's a real problem, Blizzard. And you're doing it for free. Right? That's a huge problem. Now, you could possibly argue it's like, oh yeah, well look at the Druid Quest. Yes, but that Druid Quest is absolutely fucking stupid because nobody ever fucking survives long enough to get it done. It doesn't matter. It's horrible. This has way too much consistency. Like, any argument you could possibly make about this, there are so many counter arguments to defeat it, and you're kind of just, pissing in the wind at this point, guys. I get it. You want Rogue to have something that allows them to compete. I get it. But guess what? It's too goddamn powerful. We're not asking for Rogue to be completely neutered here, but, just a little bit of, a circumcision. All right? Can we get a circumcision? Can we get that, please? Anyway, guys, that's going to be all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe, leave me comments down below. Till next time, Shiv's saying, can we get a circumcision?